Hi, I'm Christine Arnold. I'm Senior Counsel with the Legcore Group of Companies, and I volunteered and worked at Camp Potlatch around 2000 to 2004. When you arrive at camp, it doesn't matter who you were outside of camp. It doesn't matter where you came from, what kind of family you came from, what kind of challenges you may have in your life outside of camp. When you arrive at camp, you're a Potlatcher. Up to that point, I didn't really have a sense of belonging anywhere before, or a sense of a safe, secure place to call home. That had not been part of my reality up to that point. I had that sense of there's always camp for me, and at the end of the school year I get to go back to camp and go back home and restabilize and then go back out into the world and do something new the following year and something different, again the year after that. So that sense of belonging truly shaped who I developed to be as a person, who I became as a person, and gave me the confidence and the security to go out and do scary things and go out and do things that required me to take on big challenges that I didn't necessarily know if I would be successful or not, but there's always home to come back to, and that's what camp was for me. I think it's reasonable to assume that things would have been very different for me had I not found Camp Potlatch. Camp really gave me a sense of trustworthy adults in a context that wasn't just school and wasn't just teachers. What does a trustworthy colleague feel like? What does a trustworthy mentor feel like? What does a trustworthy peer feel like? And all of that also really gave me a grounding that I think has allowed me to be effective in other roles I've taken on in my life. I think that it's a really effective strategy to treat youth who still need the mentorship and the guidance in such a way that they can put themselves in the shoes of the leader and the mentor. And I think acting like someone trustworthy and valuable because you've been treated like someone trustworthy and valuable make the youth act like leaders and act like people who then have something of value to share with even younger youth in terms of a mentorship role. Simon wrote a glowing reference letter for me, recommended me for the scholarship, and I won it that year. And it was a significant amount. It represented about half of my tuition for that year. And of course, I had to pay for my own way through school. And so it was a huge deal for me to have this source of funding. And then to make up the other half, Simon wrote, without any doubt, a dozen reference letters for all kinds of other external scholarships. And I ended up getting a bunch of those scholarships, and it paid for me to go to school. And he did that again year after year after year. And so Simon, to me, really symbolizes the leadership of the Boys and Girls Clubs, and how much of a difference one leader can make, one mentor can make in someone's life. It felt incredible to have someone that I respected and admired believe in me. It gave me a real sense of self-worth and self-respect. I thought if someone like Simon, who's running a whole camp and has this very important position and is doing such good work in the world, and is in such a leadership position, sees something in me and believes in me and puts me into a position where he has to count on me to do a good job, then maybe I really am that person who can be counted on to do a good job, and that I really do have something of value to contribute. Fundamental to all the other awesome positive feelings that came from Camp Potlatch, the reason that all those other positive feelings could be felt and could be experienced was because you feel safe, because I felt safe. And every time I returned to Camp Potlatch, every summer when I returned for the first time, every time I returned to camp after a break, that sense of I'm in a safe place now really permeated that experience. And an organization can absolutely do that. Camp Potlatch and the Boys and Girls Clubs did that for me.